All right, guys, and away we go with another episode of The Buzz About East Brunswick. It is episode 24. I'm Greg T. This is Mayor Cohen. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Give me some. All right, buddy. Happy New Year. It's our first show for 2026.
2026,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Did you have a nice New Year's?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Yeah. You know, I truly enjoy New Year's Eve. Like, I really do like it. Even if I'm going down the street to a neighbor's house with, let's say, two other couples, something small. I love being a part of that. I really do. Watching the ball drop, having a couple of drinks, nothing crazy, but I do. But this year, every single one of my wife and our plans fell through. Everything. It was a disaster. And I can understand if plans change because, let's say, somebody gets sick.
Right.
I get that. It happens. You were throwing a curveball. But every single plan that we made with other people, I'm like, what, is it us? I'm like, what
I was just going to say that.
It's us. I mean, everything we wanted to do, it just didn't come to fruition. And so we ended up just being at home. It was my wife, myself, and then on top of it, my oldest daughter came home for college. So we had taken it, for sure, like, oh, she's going to go out with friends.
Right.
She's going to go see somebody, whatever it was.
She wanted to hang out with mom and dad. That's nice.
Her plans fell through as well, and she ended up on the couch with us. So it was just three of us.
Don't tell me you had to wake each of the others up for the ball to drop.
Okay,
you
were
did
close.
stay up at least for that.
We did stay because I said cannot go. I said to Trish, I said, listen, none of us are falling asleep. We are not too old where we're sleeping through the ball. It's not happening. But we made the best of it. My wife went out to a store and got a couple finger foods for us and whatnot. My daughter made some brownies. We rented this movie, so we watched a movie for a little bit, and then as it got closer to the time where the ball was dropping, then we got up and got ready for that, for the ball to drop. We even popped a bottle of champagne.
Oh, that's nice.
Again, it was by far not anything that I love to do on New Year's Eve, but it worked out just fine. It really did. And I even said to my wife the next morning, I go, you know what? It wasn't all that bad. Like, we actually had some laughs and had some good times, and it was the three of us. It was what it was.
That's not bad.
So how about yourself?
Well, years ago when my kids were little, we used to have the house that everybody went to for New Year's Eve. And at some point, it got to be so big that I had people coming in that were invited by other people we invited. I didn't even know who they were.
Oh, my God.
So that started to get a little crazy.
Okay.
So we, scaled that back over time.
Yeah.
And as the kids got older, then they wanted to do things with their friends.
Right.
So then we had, the adult friends, and then it slowly has gotten to a point where it's a handful of couples that will often just go out to dinner.
That's it.
And then bring desserts in and watch the ball.
Bingo.
But this year was a little other. My best friend, she had major back surgery, so she didn't want to be around people.
Okay.
And my wife, I think, lost her mother this around the holiday.
So
we sit Shiva for a couple of days. It literally ended on the 31st.
Right. So nobody was in the mood.
So we weren't really in the mood. We did have enough food for an army because that's what everybody does.
Yeah.
Bring in food for Shiva that we wouldn't starve. And that never happened.
So you got tons of leftovers. All desserts. Oh my God.
So we didn't need to bring any food in.
Right.
And we just kept it quiet. We were really exhausted at the end of
just immediate family.
And so that was really it. So it was quiet. Hopefully next year we'll be able to celebrate in a little bigger way, but never probably back to what it was. I mean, there was times when we had people sleeping over. We did breakfast the next day.
I was so jealous. I would have loved some kind of party like that. Yeah, I love being a part of those things. But just same thing. Your friends start to go different ways. You lose touch with somebody. Somebody doesn't want to do it. They're changing plans.
And I hate to be the bugaboo about risk, but I had people that were coming in my house, going into the liquor cabinet, helping themselves, and I didn't even know who they were.
You get nervous. You're going to leave your house drunk?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we had to put
you got to be careful.
Kibosh on that.
Well, there's always next year. There we go. Off to bigger and better things. Exactly. So we had 24 episodes. I listen, again, I don't want to continue to pat ourselves on our back, but I think our podcast is going really well. I think we're doing good things. We're having some live podcasts.
I think it's a way of letting us let our hair down a little bit and not always say things that are so formal. The mayor's the guy like everyone else.
And it gives you a great platform to reach out to other audiences, to more people, of getting the word about what's going on here in East Brunswick, hence the name, the buzz about East Brunswick.
And it's working.
Yeah.
I know I've had people who have approached me from outside of the area. They know what's going on in the community. They've watched parts of the podcast. A lot of people don't sit down often listen to the whole thing, but parts of it. And it is, and even sometimes we put out those clips of little parts.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a way of reaching people in a medium that isn't often used enough.
Yeah.
And just parking little snippets of information that people know that we're not sitting here doing nothing. We're actually getting stuff done.
I think that we definitely have accomplished that there's a lot happening here in East Brunswick, and a lot is still to come. But for yourself, as the mayor of East Brunswick, what does 2026 look like for you, for East Brunswick? Where are we headed?
Well, I think that people are getting a sense of what the vision is of our plans for Route 18. It didn't just happen last year.
Sure.
These are things that we've been working on for a while, and it's all designed to fundamentally, generationally change the look of the corridor that was old and wasn't working. I often think maybe it's not a bad idea to park some pictures up of what it looked like before we started.
To remind people,
So when people complain about traffic on 18 or about a complex that's being built there, let me remind you where we started. Right? I think we've come so far that many people have forgotten that.
Food for thought. I may start working on something like that. That's great. A before and after. And like, this is what it used to look like, and this is what you want to go back to? No, you want to go forward into the future.
And it's going to be painful at times to go through some of those changes. Route 18, which is part of an independent part of the Department of Transportation's effort to improve that major corridor, happens to be going on at the same time that the other stuff is going on, but they're being coordinated. But I think now folks are starting to get an idea of where this is going. And for the vast majority of people, it's exciting and they want to see change. It's long overdue.
Yeah, I agree.
So what's in early 2026? Clearly the rink's opening.
Oh, right.
That's a big one. It's another activity that we can bring to people here in the township, and one that should be profitable enough, and if it is, that money can then feed other things that we'd like to do in the township. I think that the Route 18 should be finished sometime this year.
Oh, it's good. Hey, there you go. All right.
So that will...
You're giving people a lot of relief on that note alone. Yeah. They're like, oh, thank you.
Like that should conclude. Some of the complexes will have finished and started opening, so folks will get to see what these things actually look like.
Yeah.
With that comes higher retail. The mall, believe me, enough people have spoken about the mall.
We are not talking about the mall. We're not doing it.
But the nicer retail that will be coming there have all signed on because the owner has promised them that they'll be open for next holiday season. And that doesn't mean open a week before Christmas, right? Holiday season starts early.
Of course, I get you.
So my guess would be that it's going to be most likely fall, so that it could be open in time for the holiday season.
That's great. That's great.
So these are really pretty big things in terms of other activities for the township. Parks and Recreation has a lot of plans for updating and finishing some parks that should open up in the spring.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's Lenape and by Pine Ridge section of town. Some really nice improvements for folks that are in that area and in town in general, because you can go to any park. We're going to be redoing the pickleball courts at Community Park. That's something people have asked for a long time. It's a popular place. It's a popular sport.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves pickleball.
They do. So that's on the horizon. Every spring we start up with our road work, and so there's areas of town that constantly people have complained that needs to be attended to, but we can't do them all in every 1 year. We don't have enough money for all that.
Right. I think you had mentioned that in an earlier podcast, that year by year there's certain roads that you guys get to, and they kind of like come off the list.
Or if we're going to do a section of town that's really large, we're not going to spend all of our time in that one section, because then every other section is going to complain that we're only giving one attention.
You definitely mentioned that earlier. Yeah, that's right.
So that's done. Where you have a new superintendent in the schools, so where we sit down with her, there's a great opportunity to start working cooperatively, especially on the shared use of facilities. That's been a bugaboo for a very, very long time. And my instinct from conversations with her is that we're looking to fix that so that residents who have paid for all of these facilities can recognize that, given the fact that the schools will always have a priority to their own property, but when it's not being used by them, they're community property. And I think that's a good thing.
And isn't there something, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but is there talk about a pool, like some kind of a...
So, yeah, we have been given a grant money from the state of New Jersey to build. Originally, the plan was to enclose one of the pools over at Crystal Springs, but Crystal Springs is only open for 2 months. And
small town.
And even if we kept it open, it's not the easiest place for everybody in town to get to.
Sure.
Then we had thought about maybe doing something as a community center over at the mall. But one of the things we're now rethinking was that maybe we should go back to our original plan and need to sit down with the schools and put a pool near where the high school property is or on it, because it could easily be shared with the schools and with the township. And
could some of that work get started in 2026?
More likely 2027.
Okay.
Right. Some of the work that we're going to use some of our pilot money to help the schools with this year is more likely things that deal with football, like the snack shop and by the football field. We may help them redo that and put some public bathrooms out there so that people don't need to go into the building. So these are things where we could take some of the money coming in from these pilot programs, and in addition to helping out the township and to stabilize taxes, try to do some of the things for the schools that they need, and they wouldn't have to take out of their operating budgets.
That's really nice.
But that's all predicated on pilot money coming in.
Okay.
Right. That's relatively new for us.
Okay.
Other towns like
I haven't heard you speak much about that before. Yeah.
And Woodbridge, they've been doing this a long time, so they've got a good amount of money coming in, and so how they allocate it is a little easier for them because they've been doing it for a quarter century. We're relatively new, so it'll start to ratchet up, and over time, once it does, then we could start looking at doing bigger projects with the schools to help them with some of their capital needs. It can't be used for operating budget, so you can't say, "Oh, give money to the schools so they can hire more teachers." No, you can't do that.
Okay.
But you can do it for capital projects.
Gotcha.
Which a pool would be, the outdoor bathrooms, the snack shop. All of those things are things that the schools would otherwise have to bond for as a capital item, which we can help them with through those type of programs. But I can only do that as the money from these projects start to come in.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's just starting to happen.
Right.
So I think all of that portends for a really good working relationship with the schools. And in return, if we're going to help you with those things, well, then really, like those fields that you have and the tennis courts that you have and those basketball courts that you have that have been paid for with taxpayer dollars, you need to open that up for residents too.
Okay, I understand that. I can follow that.
So I think that's how the deal needs to work.
Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot of really neat things that are going to be happening for 2026 already. I mean, your plate's getting piled on already. That's great. And for real. And now, what about yourself? Personally, you are going to be running for Congress as well.
I am.
So congratulations. So that'll be good.
Thank you.
So you have some really big news for 2026, which will be great. We'll see how far that gets. I wish you the best.
I don't intend to lose.
No, I don't want you to lose. I don't want you to lose.
You don't start something like that without intending to put the effort in and make the case for why people should support you.
I love it.
But I think like in anything else, when you look for a new job, you need to provide people your resume, what you've done, what you've accomplished, what you're in the process of doing. I look at resumes all the time. You might have some great ideas, but you haven't done anything.
Well,
so if there's nothing on your resume,
your
it's
resume
hard.
is stellar.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that folks, use their judgment and look at the record.
Yep. No, listen, you've done an amazing job already. You really have. So it's going to be neat to follow along and see what 2026 will bring, but it sounds like all incredible things.
I think it's exciting. I think there's a lot of really good things that are going to happen here in the township, and we intend to make that happen.
Nice job. All right, guys, listen, we're just getting things started here. We're going to stop down, take a look in and around East Brunswick. And when we get back, we're going to talk about some new businesses that are coming to town. And we'll get an ice rink, an ice arena update as well. Yeah. Okay. I'm hearing big things are happening at the ice arena. We're going to dive into that next. It's all coming up next right here on The Buzz about East Brunswick. Attention East Brunswick residents, this is a friendly reminder that New Jersey law requires all drivers to remove excess snow and ice from their vehicles before driving. Please be sure to clear off the hood, the roof, and all your windows to help keep everyone safe on the road. Taking a few extra minutes to fully clear your vehicle can prevent accidents and injuries. Thank you for doing your part to help keep East Brunswick safe. It's a friendly reminder from the East Brunswick Police Department. Are you registered on the Do Not Knock list here in East Brunswick? Are you on the registry?
Who is it?
We're with the solar company up the street.
I'm on the Do Not Knock list. I'm on the Do Not Knock list.
Just log on to the East Brunswick Township website at eastbrunswick.org. Scroll over to Departments and scroll over to Township Clerk. Scroll down to Do Not Knock Register Form. And when you're there, you'll notice the blue shaded area with all sorts of jargon explaining you have now reached the Do Not Knock registry. Just fill out the form with your name and address, click Submit, and congratulations, you're now registered for the Do Not Knock list. This is an important message from East Brunswick and the East Brunswick Police Department. The East Brunswick Police Department has announced its transition from Civic Ready Platform to Everbridge, a leading emergency notification system designed to deliver faster, more reliable alerts to keep residents informed during critical situations. Follow a few quick and easy steps to get signed up or to continue in receiving East Brunswick emergency alerts. Simply log on to eastbrunswick.org. Scroll over to Public Safety. Scroll to the left and click on Emergency Alerts. After clicking on Emergency Alerts, you will enter the Emergency Alert System Everbridge. Scroll mid-page and click on either Community Alerts or Emergency Alerts or both. Once you click on Emergency Alerts, you'll be directed to get started and to set up a community profile. If you choose Community Alerts, you'll receive news and announcements from Parks and Rec, Waste and Recycling, Taxes and Utilities, and more. So build your community profile and stay informed of everything in and around East Brunswick. All right, and we are back, and that is a look inside and around East Brunswick. And again, thank you very, very much for streaming us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music, Amazon, and if you're watching us on YouTube at EBTV26. This is, again, episode 24. So let's talk about it. The ice skating arena, the update that I'm hearing is that finally the Zambonis are about to arrive.
It's like we're waiting for the baby, right?
Yeah, you can't have ice without the Zambonis.
Do we get a reveal party for that too?
We're doing a reveal party with Zamboni.
Actually, I think you should do that. We should put like a big thing with like...
It arrived.
It's arrived.
I love it. So give me the update on the arena. What's going on with the Zambonis?
Well, the Zambonis were one of the biggest rate limiters. It was, and believe it or not, you would think, wow, that must be coming from Canada or some cold part of the world. No, it's coming from California.
So what took so long?
I guess there's just a backlog in the Zambonis.
Huh.
But they, I'm told end of next week they should be here.
That's exciting news.
Yeah.
That's great. So then once the Zamboni comes, then you can start laying down the first
Then they
sheet
can
of
start
ice.
putting some ice. There's some
Yeah.
finishing touches that still need to be done in the rink.
Okay.
So we're looking at more likely beginning of February.
Gotcha.
So that did delay us a little bit, and again there are some finishing touches that still need to be done. So when you try to figure out a end point, an opening point so far ahead of time, there's so many moving pieces that any one or two things can change things. And anybody that's done construction, whether it's building your own house or this is normal. This is what happens.
Right.
So,
Listen, everything seemed to have gone accordingly. I remember talking with Keith Kipp that everybody was working ahead of schedule. So yeah, I mean, if something happens, if there's a left turn in the road somewhere, it is what it is. But yeah, you can't have the ice without the Zambonis. So Zambonis are on their way, which is great. And now I think you're already starting to hire some faculty over there. So some people are starting to be hired.
No, we're hiring staff. We've got
that's
different roles that we already decided we needed, and then we're starting to fill in the right people for those things. Some of them are people that have already worked for us that wanted to move over to the rink, and we always prefer to stick with our own people unless there's people that just don't have the skills that we need. Then
They need to hire outside.
Hire outside,
Right.
And but it's going to be an excited place. It's a great location, even compared to a lot of other rinks that are in the region. It's right off of the highway. A lot of retail, restaurants, hotels are in very close proximity.
It's beautiful construction, what's going on back there with the townhome development over there. Everything looks like it's really happening. It's beautiful, really nice.
It'll definitely be nice. And frankly, with our relationship with Black Bear, a good portion of the ice time is already filled.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's great news.
We've got others, other towns that are looking to rent space, and then obviously we're going to need to set aside time for our own residents.
Of course.
Their tax dollars are paying for it.
Yeah, they're going to want to get on there.
So obviously we need to have that time. So where we were worried at the very beginning that we might not fill up our ice time, I think we're going to very soon be in a position where we have actually filled in.
That's great.
That's a kind of a good problem.
That's a real good problem to have, and I think it'll make everybody happy. The residents will get on the ice, and it's not going to just sit there and be like
And it's for other sports too.
Yeah.
There's figure skating during the day. A lot of those kids are often homeschooled, so for them, practice time during the day is great because the ice hockey and those programs often don't start until after
school. Right.
Parties and all of those opportunities to
I've seen some
rent
cool
it out.
things. So speaking about parties at ice rinks, I've seen some really cool like ice rink bumper cars on there. There's so many different ideas, so many things that you can do with an ice rink that I never even thought of. But it looks really great.
And people laugh at parties, but they're not funny, right? Because a lot of times, first of all, there's decent money in that.
Yeah, of course.
And often these young kids have never been on the ice, so this is their first opportunity to get on the ice. And mark my words, in 15 years, those are the same kids that are going to be your high school star hockey players.
No, you're right.
And that would have been the way they started.
You bring up a very good point. A very good point. Well, listen, I think that's incredible news to hear about the
or
ice
figure
arena.
skaters, right?
Or figure skaters. That's right.
Those and the other sports that are the one that's Olympic sport is curling.
Oh my God, curling! So are we
become very popular.
So maybe we'll do some curling here.
We need to figure out if there's ways of engineering some of the ice.
I never think about curling. I never think about curling. Wow, you're right.
So not sure if we're doing it yet. But the point is that ice can be used for more than just ice hockey.
Right, multi-purpose. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, this is all incredible news. Let's get to another big breaking news story.
Sure.
Tell me about the new business that's coming into town, Raising Cane. Tell me all about it. I'm hearing good things.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's a pretty popular restaurant that's a franchise.
Yeah.
And it is. Every time I drive one, it's almost like the Chick-fil-A's.
Right.
The lines wrap around the
People
the
love
building.
Raising Cane. Love it.
But they're going to be taking over the building that was once occupied by Red Lobster, which is now bankrupt. So I know there's people that have written or said, oh, can't you bring it back? The township of East Brunswick is not going to take Red Lobster out of bankruptcy. That's not our role.
Right, that's not what we do.
So it's not coming back. And if it wants to, then great. They could certainly more than welcome to come back to town if they reconstitute or but right now that's coming in, and they were given approval from zoning board or planning board, I forget which committee they were in front of, and they tend to have a pattern of what they like, and once they get started, like most other constructions, it's quick.
Because they know what they're doing. They've done this before. They're building them all over the place now. And it's exciting. I think their chicken is really good. My one question though, and I'm only going to bring this up because I've heard it before.
Right?
Why another chain restaurant?
I've heard why another chain restaurant, why another chicken place, why another hamburgers when hamburger joints are opening up, or
kind of. But again, I'm just like, I'm the voice of what I'm hearing.
Yep,
So I'm just bringing it to the table, throwing it out there. I understand, the questions.
Right.
So I just want to leave it to you. So why that?
Well, first of all, the township has zoning laws that apply for what uses are allowed in parts
go
of the
there.
township.
Okay.
Right? So obviously, it's a commercial zone, and mostly for retail. But the town, once they establish what type of businesses and hours of operation, all of that,
Right.
are a region. If an owner of a piece of property wants to open up a strip mall and there are 5 chicken places and there's no restrictions that owner's putting on those contracts, and those chicken restaurants don't have any restrictions in their lease, no one in the town can stop that.
Okay.
Right.
But you have no say with
Town
the
has no-
zoning. That's not
If
you.
an application comes into the town,
Okay.
and it follows all of our requirements, it's allowed in that zone, and there's no restrictions. Sometimes a owner of a strip mall may say that he's got a coffee shop, and he just doesn't want to put another one in because he's afraid that it would be competition to that coffee shop.
Right.
So then he has the right to say he doesn't want another one.
Okay.
If you're a coffee shop and you've now done a contract with that strip mall,
Sure.
you may put in your lease that the only way I'm coming into your strip mall is if you don't allow another, coffee shop. We
following
don't
you.
want to have competition
No.
in the same strip mall.
It makes no
That's
sense. Right.
completely between the owner of the property and the leasee.
Okay. Okay.
The town has no right to get in the middle of that.
So there's a fine line between what you do, the
So if
township,
there's
and the zoning.
A massive Route 18 corridor and 10 chicken shops have decided that they've done their market research and they know about the other
they're all
ones,
profitable.
and they
Right.
truly believe that they're going to be able to make it. The market will determine who survives.
But again, this has nothing
Not
to do
the township.
right. So, and you are the township, right? So you have nothing to do with
And
with
that applies to chicken
Right.
restaurants, it applies to banks, it applies to pharmacies, it applies to all of the things that I've heard people complain. Oh, another
Yeah, because
drugstore.
it's easy to pinpoint you as that person and say the mayor is allowing this, the mayor is doing this thing. So I understand when people are saying that, but I'm glad that you're clarifying it, that it has nothing to do with you or your office.
Has nothing to do with that. Now, other people have also brought up things about franchises and chain restaurants. Well, there's a big difference between franchises and chain restaurants. Sometimes those are individually owned, even though they're part of a franchise. So in our eyes, that's still a small business.
Yeah.
Whereas others are just part of a chain. They have to answer to corporate, and that's a little different. So saying chain and franchises are terms that people often use interchangeably, but they're really not.
Okay.
My son owns a franchise,
That's right.
Cinnaholic in
That's right.
Metuchen. It's an individual. It's part of a franchise.
He owns a
but
chain.
He owns that particular. He's a small business.
Well, so he is a franchise owner. He's a franchise owner of a
been
chain.
Bought into the franchise,
into-
and
okay.
so he owns and operates his particular. If he wants to open up another one, he needs to get another franchise agreement and open up another one. But they're
Right.
individually owned.
Yeah.
You know, whereas other businesses are just they're opening up chains all over the place, and you're the manager being thrown in that place.
Right,
But,
you're taking
but
that
that
over
manager
corporate.
doesn't own that particular store.
No,
he or
it's the
she has to
corporate run.
answer to corporate.
Right. I get you.
Right. So,
okay.
so when you say chain or franchise, that's a very wide term, and I think for most part, most of the ones you see here are often individually owned franchises.
So now this Raising Cane's, will this be a corporate or is this privately owned?
I think this one's privately
Owned. Okay, gotcha.
but it's part of a
But it's part of the
franchise.
right.
The other thing that people ask about is why can't we have these small non-chain restaurants? And the answer to that is that for a lot of small non-chain restaurants, the profit margin is very low in food. It just is.
Sure.
So in order for them to really make a profit, they have to have a liquor license.
Oh,
That's
right.
where they make their money.
Is
there's-
Brunswick sold out of
We
liquor
don't
licenses?
have any liquor licenses available.
Okay.
If we did, the cost of a liquor license in East Brunswick is around $450,000 to $500,000. That's about the market rate, and you have to purchase that. You can't finance it.
Wow.
So a lot of young people that want to go into a non-chain private restaurant has to be dealing with ready cash of about $500,000 to pick up a liquor license if there is one to be purchased.
Right, and there isn't right
And
now currently.
open up a restaurant.
Yep.
Very hard for them to compete with chains that have the ability to
Right,
to buy.
of course, you're right. They have billions of dollars of backing. Of course, I understand that.
So I get it.
Yep.
But that's the reason.
Gotcha.
That's the reality. If a town goes up by 3,000 people, then the town has the right to request a new liquor license, and then you can auction that.
Okay.
If a hotel is being built with over 100 bedrooms, they automatically get a liquor license.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
when the Chateau put their
the hotel, yeah.
right, it's 108 bedrooms. Why is it 108 and not 98?
Yeah.
Because they get a liquor license for free.
Interesting.
If a mall or if a retailer owns a area of 750,000 square feet or more, they could apply independently, but through the township, for 2 liquor licenses at a cost, I think it's around 250,000, because we're trying to stimulate redevelopment in
gotcha.
the state
Okay.
and use of these big buildings that often are unoccupied. In
But
many
again, you're
places.
pointing out these ways that are big companies that have a lot of backing that can possibly get this done. The normal mom and pop that wants to open up a restaurant, they're not going to do it.
Really hard to do that.
Right.
So there's a reason why you're not seeing it, and it's not just an East Brunswick problem.
Oh, no,
You're
it's
gonna
everywhere.
find it all over the state.
That's right.
The liquor laws in the state of New Jersey are old.
But you can do a BYOB though.
You could do that
So that there's not like I guess there's no limit on those.
as long as it's permitted in that zone.
Gotcha.
There's no limit on that.
Gotcha. It's but to actually hold your own liquor, sell your own drinks, that's where the liquor license comes into play.
And that's where the profit margin goes up.
Of course it does. Yeah, right. That's why we all know we're paying so much more money for a drink. I get it. All right, the profit margin is there.
So there's a reason for all of this stuff. Stop blaming the township. The township didn't do anything.
Okay.
If you want to change the liquor license laws in the state of New Jersey, that's great. That's going to be handled by the governor and the legislator in Trenton.
Right.
They tried doing that. They actually made some changes under Murphy in the last couple of years. But did it dramatically reduce the cost of a liquor license?
No, I get you. So now, other than Raising Cane's, is there anything else that we could be looking forward to in that genre, in that franchise chain restaurant area? Anything else coming to East Brunswick?
Well, I don't have anything signed. Clearly, the mall is looking to bring in
the mall,
some
right, of course.
nicer restaurants that they actually are sitting on 2 liquor licenses, and because the mall is a little over 750,000 square feet.
Oh, it's the mall used to
they're-
have them, the Bar Louie, and
So they're holding those.
okay, good. Okay,
They're holding those. So they're using that so that they can entice
Another
nice
restaurant to come in,
restaurant
of
to
course.
come in.
Yeah.
And they're looking to apply for the 2 more. I said it's
right. How big it
anything
is.
over 750. They are. So because they're over that, they have the right to request.
So then we could really be looking forward to, I guess, 4 new restaurants all happening at the mall there.
Potentially.
Yeah, that's great. Potentially reform. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think there's people are be a little patient. I
Yeah.
know Rome wasn't created in a day.
Right.
But I think that the future is really exciting for the township and for that business corridor that used to be really vibrant. And I truly sympathize with people who have this fond memories of what the world looked like 40 years ago, and
Right.
the Farrells and all of the.
I love
and
that I did the
places that
before and
were-
after. I love it. I love it.
I get that, but
Right.
it hasn't been that in decades.
Decades, yep.
And so our goal here, along with the owner of the property, who has every right to invest in an asset that is not performing well. And the thing I always have to mention to folks is that last month we had to issue a $1 million
Right, you said last episode.
check.
Yep, that's right.
Back to
the
the
mall.
mall, not Penny's and Macy's, the mall.
Right.
Because they were being overcharged based on the rental incomes, which they're not making.
Right.
So every year people want to hold on to the memory and try to stop the mall from doing the
But
work
people
it
aren't
needs
going
to do.
there. They're not going.
We're going to be using our residents to write a check back to the mall to keep it that way.
Right.
And that's just
No, doesn't make any sense.
doesn't make no sense.
Nope, I get you. Listen, I think this is great. There's so many good things that are happening here in East Brunswick. I think we should end on that note. And thank you for clarifying, why Raising Cane is coming in here and why chain restaurants, why Chicken Place.
And that doesn't mean
I'm just the voice,
But that doesn't mean we're not looking for some of the others,
Right.
like on the spot by Vermella, where the property on Route 18 is being built by Russo, right where the
Yes.
old Gap and Wiz used to be.
Yes.
Right. There's property in the front of that the town's going to work with the developer, and we're looking to take some of the township-owned property that's right on Route 18 and build 2 restaurants.
Nice.
That will overlook the park behind it.
Fancy.
And if the town owns the property and it owns the building, then we could obtain concessionaires' liquor licenses for much cheaper.
Wow, it's great.
And we could include that in the rent and maybe be able to attract some of these non-chain or higher-end restaurants that everybody's been asking for
Right,
here
right.
in the town. But we have to figure out ingenious ways of dealing with the liquor license issue because
Gotcha.
that's where they make their money.
I get you. Listen, Mr. Mayor, nice job today. Episode 24 was a success. Really nice job. Thank you for clarifying everything. All right, guys. So that does it for episode 24. This has been the Buzz About East Brunswick, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. We're getting a lot out of it. I mean, listen, if you really want to know what's going on in East Brunswick, you want to be listening to the Buzz About East Brunswick because the mayor's telling you right out.
We're
not
just
hiding.
buzzing around
We're
with
just
that.
buzzing around. All right, guys, we are out of here. We'll see you again next week for episode 25.
Thank you.